everybody. Welcome to another reading Space and Time. I feel like we need special effects for that, like reading, space
I'll just turn this.
and time.
I was gonna flash the thingamajig, the there, space and time. See,
Space and
it's
time.
flashing up and down, and
Yeah.
then I hit the wrong one.
Don't
worry
worry, we're professionals.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. Anyway, welcome everybody. So today we're going to be talking about some more stories from 152, the Devil Edition or
Yes.
Fake Muse
Fake
Edition,
Muse. Yeah, is it 152 or 153? Oh, it is 152 still. Okay.
I believe.
Yeah, that's because I'm actually working on 154 now. So it's like, what issue are we on?
Uh-huh.
This is why Post-it notes are a valuable resource in publishing.
Oh, yeah, huh?
So I want to do a show and tell again because I did the carrot last week
Okay.
and I thought that was really awesome. So I just visited a vendor and they made this really cool. It's not really focusing. There you go. Anyways, that is a stone that they sell here for like witches and stuff, and it's called, I can't remember what it is in Portuguese, but it's a brooms. It's supposed to be like a broom. It's a natural stone that happens like that. And it's called the witch's broom. That's how it translates in English. So, anyways, I just randomly found this guy selling witch's brooms. And I was like, to me, it looks like a raven's wing.
Okay.
So I really liked it. I have no intention of wearing it, though, because I don't really like jewelry. But hey, it's a good gift.
Yeah, good gifts. Good gifts from random vendors on the side of the road. And
Yeah, support your local vendors.
yes, especially if they yell at you aggressively and you
Yeah.
just want them to go away.
You're like, fine, I'll buy that. Go away, please.
Leave me alone. Take my money. So yeah, bit of show and tell. You just wanted to have it held up, so then we have that as the
Thumbnail.
Like the thumbnail, yeah.
So I will say, yeah, full confession, the carrot made such a good thumbnail last week. I'm like, what other weird thing can I hold up to show people? So yeah, it'll be the thumbnail.
Alrighty. So this week we're talking about, and I have the list right here. We have Cast 9, by what is that? Geisa?
I'm gonna say Geisa.
Fernandes.
Fernandes.
I'm Proud of You by Jamal Hodge, Finding the Path by Miguel O. Mitchell, and I Dream of Black Quantum Futures by Maurice Broaddus. So first one first.
Yeah, let's get into Cast 9. And then after this, we're going to talk a little bit about how we're selecting stories starting with the September issue. So if you want to hear that, I'm very excited. Just stick around while we talk about these stories.
Okay. So Finding the Path, I think that was the first one, wasn't it?
Well, Cast 9 was the first one.
I think I was rereading it to remember the stories because we have so many coming through. All right, so Cast 9. What did we think? What was our thoughts? Obviously, a bit futuristic with barcoded DNA sequence or DNA chain.
I love that.
You like it?
I loved it. Not like, that was a favorite. So, but I do like barcodes. One day I shall have one tattooed somewhere. I just haven't found the right product.
See, a lot of people think that that's bad though, because like that means you're owned. Interesting thing, I've got a little show and tell as well. I got a barcode or a QR code right here. This was from that gentleman that I met on the plane that had the 4-leaf clovers that he makes in Brazil, or like grows them specifically. So I forgot that it was a barcode. But anyway, or a QR code.
Showed the 4-leaf clover.
It's all like dried.
Thumbnails.
Super dangerous.
It's true.
I don't want to break it. So Cast 9, your initial thoughts?
Yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was an interesting kind of insider view. I mean, insider fictionally view of what actually happens or what we think happens with corporations that are designing all this kind of high-tech, making all these high-tech rules or all these decisions that affect all of us, but we are not in the room to get to put in our 2 cents on these things, like the average person.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what it said to me, was just like that, and how much of it is driven by money and greed and, investor shares and corporate blah, 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 things like that the average person not only doesn't have access to, but honestly doesn't care, because the average person is trying to make sure that they can go to work and not be sick and buy groceries and, get the kids from school on time. That's what the average person is doing. So that's kind of what I thought was super interesting
Yeah.
about this one.
Couple of things that I found interesting, and the announcement of like the CRISPR, and the very start, like right here is talking about CRISPR.
Mm-hmm.
um and I was talking to Angela about this earlier, that anybody that is looking at like DNA altering and gene sequencing and all that fancy scientific stuff, there are a lot of uh, technological advances or a lot of research in CRISPR, which is like essentially gene editing with a payload from a virus or
Mm-hmm.
something like that, and they're able to infect you with something that alters your DNA.
Oh, interesting.
And that was the big thing is I think he's Australian or English, or he has a kind of a weird accent, but there's one guy at the forefront of that, and he's talking about reversing the aging process and how
Oh,
they've
yeah.
done it with mice and stuff, and that
Mm-hmm.
uses CRISPR technology. So
Oh,
that's probably
cool.
where he's. This is yeah,
Mm-hmm.
she's pulling this from. In the story, I was saying like he's pulling this from, but that's the character of the
Yeah,
story, but
yeah, yeah.
the writer of this, Geisa. But yeah, I found that very interesting. But also, yeah, that in the future, it's like, yeah, you can have all this gene editing and things like
Mm-hmm.
that, but you're going to be competing with AI, which is still going to be smarter than you, regardless
Mm-hmm.
of anything. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it is. I actually did see something interesting on AI. Somebody called it augmented intelligence.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a really interesting way to present it instead of artificial
Yeah.
intelligence, because it is actually intelligence.
Hmm.
But it does, in the best of ways. I mean, it
It
can be good or bad, but
augments
yeah,
yours.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the higher thing that we hope is that it augments our own intelligence so
And
that
raises it up.
we
Yeah.
are retaining our humanity, but basically like my
Augmented.
glasses are my augmented eyesight.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's the way we will wind up using it.
Yeah.
Then there's the shadow side of,
Everything else.
we are the meat shells for the AI. So
But then you can do the robot real good,
yeah,
because
yeah, because I'll be
obviously,
like, I've already done this in
yeah,
the 80s,
yeah, it's a
so
thing.
take
It's
me
a
to your
thing.
leader.
But yeah, really interesting story.
Yeah.
And what about the end? What did you think about the end of it? Because we
Um,
kind of not necessarily disagreed about the end, but you were saying that it was a like kind of a redemption, and I was thinking it
yeah.
was kind of a spiteful.
Yeah, I felt like it was meant to, like, in his mind, maybe. I guess I should say, in his mind, he's thinking of it as a redemption. But it's too little, too late.
Yeah,
It's not really a redemption. It's good. It's good for humanity, or in the story.
yeah.
It's good that that happened, that he made it free domain. But why did you wait until it
Spoilers.
was too? Oh yeah, nothing happens.
Nothing happens. Yeah. Yeah, I think of it as if AI comes in and kicks your butt, and then you do something to hurt AI, that's I
Too little, too late.
no, it's not too little too late. It's just being spiteful.
Yeah,
You know, if I have a business and you come in and you throw me out of my business, and you've got control of the business, and then I release all of the secret herbs and spices that made the business famous, am I helping the world, or am
yeah,
I trying to get you?
yeah. Because you're saying the motivation.
Yeah, the motivation behind it
Yeah,
is what is interesting.
yeah.
But yeah, so that's why we kind of somewhat disagreed with
Hmm.
the ending of it. But let me zoom in. Right, I'll let you read this one.
Yeah, yeah. And Geisa Fernandes is actually a Brazilian, so kind of like a hat tip to where we are right now in
Hmm.
Brazil. She's an award-winning singer, songwriter, and music researcher from Rio de Janeiro. She holds a PhD in communications and has published poems and short stories in various anthologies, including the Space and Time issue. She released her first solo album in 2013, and in 2019 took her Latin Jazz Brazil tour to various venues, performing in Brazil, Peru, Uruguay, and the United States. Currently, she's studying the relationship between jazz and comics, and her first collection of poems, Baboa, will be released this year by Editoria Arpillera. I'm
Yes,
well, the R is an H sound, so
Editoria Pirila.
Arpillera. Anyway, sorry, Editoria Arpillera, because we suck with our Portuguese translations. But it is known for its handcrafted, hand-sewn books.
Exactly, and that's the
Yeah,
most important thing.
and I've asked her to let me know when that does release, because we'll do like we'll share it. We'll spotlight it and
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
because it's super
absolutely.
interesting. I did go look at their books. Very cool. They're very limited because they're somebody's
Hand
hand
sewn.
sewing them. But
Yeah.
yeah, Very cool books.
Yeah, and I think as long as distribution is not a super big issue in the future, I feel like the more hands-on things are going to be a lot
Yeah.
more desired and a lot more in demand
That
in the
is on my
future.
bucket list, is to learn to make books by hand, but
Okay.
it's way right now I'm doing zines
Uh-huh.
every now and then.
Yeah. Alrighty. I'm Proud of You by Jamal Hodge was the first poem that we're talking about today. What
Mhm.
was your thoughts on this?
I liked it. I thought it was kind of a funny. We can't really do spoilers in a poem. I just thought it was funny because I read through the whole thing, and then it hit me that the speaker is actually like the devil figure, but he's kind of going like, "Well done, people. You don't need me
Yeah.
anymore because y'all suck so much." That's kind of what I got out of it, and I was like, "Yeah, well said, sir."
See, and I never picked up on that. Even though it kind of, I guess the thing with poems is that it's it's less pinpointed.
Hmm.
Like poems can be ethereal, they can be different versions of perception, and it can be
Hmm.
first person, then a third person, and like
Yeah.
it's kind of like a sometimes a fever dream.
Hmm.
Poems can be.
Yeah.
And yeah, I did not pick up on that. And then you said, oh yeah, it's kind of speaking of like a dark entity or a devil or like
Hmm.
holding up the mirror to society.
Yeah.
Um, and I was like, oh yeah, that's actually exactly what it is. I don't know why that didn't come across to start off with, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Something I think is interesting is the background for the little title
Mm.
thing that I do. Jamal originally said that looks a little too American, and then he went, "Well, wait, I guess that actually fits." And I just thought that was kind of funny. In my defense, though, that is a crow, not an eagle. By the
Right.
way, that is a crow um, silhouette.
Yeah.
And then one of those stars isn't even an American star, so I don't know why everybody's mind goes to the United States
What
with this poem.
what's the what's the flag? Is it known as the Stars and Stripes?
Uh-huh. Yeah, but
Oh,
those are circus
there's stripes
stripes
and
and
stars. No,
a
no, 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 no.
different
No,
star,
no,
not a
no.
five-pointed star, like a
So
funky star.
doesn't matter. Stars and stripes. That's
Yeah.
a thing.
It's an eagle, I mean it's a crow at the circus.
Okay, a crow at the circus. That's definitely what it was about. Alrighty. So, our next story, Finding the Path by
Mhm.
Miguel O. Mitchell. What was our thoughts?
I really liked it. It took me a minute when I first read it because I thought because the story starts in the middle of a story that's
Yes,
being written, so it's kind of like a
Ascension.
yeah, inception story within a story within a story within a magazine. Um, so
It actually is, yeah.
yeah, it's a story within a magazine of
Uh-huh.
stories. But yeah, I had to read it through twice because it meant more to me. Like it hit me. The impact was solid when I realized where it was because I kind of went through it at first, and I'm but thinking very first person. I'm having the reactions of say maybe like the kid. I can't remember his name, but the kid in the middle of it,
Mm,
who kind of causes the protagonist to have that realization, that artistic realization, which ties into this week's Substack theme, coincidentally, completely coincidentally, because I changed the entire thing that I was planning to write and did art is not a safe word
yeah.
this week. And I would say that sums up this. Like the guy thinks he's doing one thing to be a air quote successful, and granted is successful writer in this story,
Yeah.
the inception writer, the writer within the writer. Yeah.
Yeah.
But and then he kind of gets that whole art is not a safe word moment with the kid who kind of calls him out on his bullshit,
Yeah.
and it changes the trajectory of everything, which kind of to me is like a way of saying like how important it is for us to be authentic and create not what we think we should be creating, but what is truly from us. Because
Mm,
if we're creating what we think we should be creating, we're creating the same bullshit everybody else thinks that they should be creating.
yeah.
And the particular thing that only we can give to the world, like only you can give your perspectives, your thoughts, your particular nightmares and joys
Hmm.
to whatever platform, to the particular medium that you decide to have.
Yeah.
Only I can do that with mine. And if we don't do that, and I think that is what selling out is, it's not making money, but
Mm,
it is not staying true to your authentic vision when you're creating that honesty that you need to be held accountable for.
mm.
Um, Yeah, anyways, I'm waxing on one of my
No,
soapboxes.
it actually made me think of kind of the perspective of having not necessarily a friend, maybe a frenemy that has constructive criticism as well. It's really good to hold yourself accountable in those
Yeah.
situations because you go, I don't want to put myself out there. And then you've got a friend that kind of just says it as it is, or you go to a critique group and somebody points out something.
Yeah.
You've got to take that in and you go, oh, okay, I need to take a critical look at what I'm doing.
Yeah, and maybe they're wrong.
And yeah, and maybe they're wrong. A lot of the times they are wrong, but I'm reminded, like specifically when I went to that, what was it, critique group?
Yeah, writer's critique
Yeah,
group.
writers critique group, and Angela invited me along, and I actually gave constructive criticism to a person who received it very well, and then was attacked by everybody else for actually critiquing a story.
Well, mostly the leader of the group.
The leader of the group, but then
MC
there
of
was
the
other
group.
people as well. And then I was later told by Angela, oh yeah, you don't go to critique groups to actually critique. And then I said, then that's just a waste of time. And then you said yes. In a lot of cases, it is a waste of time. And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, if the purpose is just to have smoke blown up your ass, I can pay for that elsewhere.
Yeah, well, and that could be a whole nother podcast of how important it is to go to find people that will critique your work honestly, not from their own place of ego, like jealousy, or they're just telling you something's wrong because they need to say something's wrong.
Yeah.
And also being able to discern whether something is, coming from a place of like, I'm just going to tell you something's wrong because I feel the need
Yeah.
to put my fingerprint on your piece.
It's like editors,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Like editors, if you get an editor that wants to add like just tiny little things in there
Yeah.
that just but throughout the entire story, it's like, does this make it better?
Yeah,
Or are
you
you
just
just trying to change it for the sake of
to
changing it?
that doesn't really change the story.
No, no, no. Yeah, a good editor will leave it when
Yeah.
it's a good story
the
and it
whole
doesn't
point
matter.
of good editing is to bring your voice out
Yes.
more.
Yeah, but
You know?
we see that a lot.
Yeah.
It's just like editing for the sake of editing. It's
Yeah.
kind of like if you focus on Grammarly too much,
Yeah,
it will always tell you the sentence structure can be better. It's like,
Yeah.
No,
yeah. And
it
see,
doesn't
that's why
need
I
to
don't
be.
really like Grammarly, because don't make me write my sentences like everybody else. I want my faulty sentences, though correct,
You-
because communication is a key.
That's because you like using words the way that they're not supposed to be used.
Yeah, because you got to break the word and make the word in your own image.
It is your slave. I control you, words. Yeah, we completely went off
Anyways,
topic.
going back to finding the path. So yeah, if you are creating something, you're not feeling some discomfort, because that's one of the lines that really stuck out to me. This in
Yeah,
here
yeah.
is the protagonist feels like a discomfort with what this kid said.
Yeah.
Kind of like going to critique groups.
Yeah.
And it resonated with him.
Yeah.
And I love that discomfort that we get as an artist, because it makes, I always see it as the signifying emotion that I am doing something that matters, like that I should pursue this. This is making me nervous. I feel a little scared. That means go for it.
Yeah.
If I feel too relaxed, I always think, oh, I'm not doing anything. I'm not stretching myself. And,
Yeah. And then you have to get over the whole what's it called? When you don't think you're good enough.
Yeah, the imposter shadow.
Imposter syndrome. Shadow.
Yeah, I say shadow.
You
'cause
say
I
shadow,
think,
yeah.
I think it's particular. I always think syndrome is like communicating we can't do anything about
It's like
it.
a diagnosis.
Yeah, like, oh, I just have this.
Yeah.
No, imposter shadow is when what we're doing is casting a shadow on us
Because it's too
because
bright.
we are shining such a bright light. So
Yeah.
that's the visual of that feeling of
Yeah.
like when you feel fear, it means you're doing something worthwhile.
Yeah. And usually it's when you're doing something that you actually believe in,
Yeah.
which is worthwhile, which means that, even if it doesn't succeed, you're succeeding in
Yeah.
yourself and you're getting that stuff out there. So,
Yeah, full disclosure though, we are talking about art and not walking down a dark alley. If you are in a dark alley and you feel fear, it might mean run.
no, you don't run.
It might not.
Turn around.
I am
Step,
doing
step, step.
exactly what I should be doing.
Yes.
This-
Do not fight
Angela
people.
said, keep going down the dark alley where I hear spooky sounds.
Yes.
I mean, I would, but
I actually keep telling you off for going down dark alleys with the dog. It's not smart.
yeah, dark alleys is where you find the good stuff.
No. Okay, so Miguel Mitchell, PhD. him is a black speculative poet, SFF author, visual artist, and retired chemistry professor. His poems have appeared in Amazing Stories, Dreams and Nightmares, Eye to the Telescope, Fia,
Fire.
what is that, Smolier?
Salty Terrors?
Salty
Yeah.
Terrors Anthology, Scarlet Dragonfly Journal, Sci-Fiacus. Yep, Space and Time, Starline, and the anthology Year's Best African Speculative Fiction 2022. His poetry book, Surrealia, won second place in. It's funny that we're catching each other. It's like, yep, that's how it's pronounced. Second place in the 2025 Elgin Awards. In SFF, short fiction, Miguel has published in Scarlet Leaf Review, Fantasy, Psychopomp, and Dirty Magic magazine. In editorial roles, Miguel was co-creator of the 2023 Dwarf Star Anthology and editor of the 2025 Dwarf Stars Anthology. Additionally, Miguel is editor-in-chief of Specpoverse, an international journal of speculative poetry, and specpoverse.org.
Yep, and you can actually find Specpoverse is one of the sponsors at the end of this magazine. That's one of the ones that we were talking about last week.
Yep. I tried to copy it and it just didn't want to.
Oh yeah, it's specpoverse.org.
There you go.
Yeah.
But it's weird spelling. So
yeah, it's because the text in the PDF has actually been flattened, so it doesn't copy and paste right sometimes.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. Though, if you press delete, look at
interesting.
There's a line through it now. I'm like, it's weird. Yeah. It's like a new thing.
Well, we were talking about how reality is breaking down, and it doesn't mean the same thing anymore because a PDF used to be sacrosanct.
Yeah.
Like you cannot change a PDF. That's why we have them.
Now you can.
But now you can. So
yeah, that's new. And I noticed because look, it's like a flashing. Cursor.
Yeah, so, very interesting. Reality is breaking down.
It's not. It's called an updated program.
No, reality is breaking down.
All right. I Dream of Black Quantum Futures by Maurice Broaddus.
Yeah. I like this one. He's got a lot of good rhythm. I mean, Maurice is like a huge pro anyways. Yep. You know what I mean? But I like the rhythm to this one. I like the structure of it. And I like how it stays kind of like there is no timeline. All of this is happening at once. So he's got he talks about himself as a boy, as a man, and then he's also talking at the same time about the futures, but also how the past, the ancestors from the past are affecting the future now. He is reaching forward into the future and being pulled forward while he's keeping the door open, by the people in the past, while he's keeping the door open for those that would come behind him. Mm-hmm. And I think that's kind of true. He's coming at it from a particular cultural perspective. Thank you. But I feel like that is true for all of us. We all kind of have this responsibility to keep the door open for all of us, for the future, for the past. It's, I'm kind of thinking more like ecology, being responsible now in what is happening as the future, as the current events, the present is kind of softened up and chaotic and tossing all over the place. Now is the time that we all have a responsibility to kind of reach into the past and hold the door open and make decisions now that will help our future, Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Sorry, I was waxing way on. I was like, this is only a half an hour podcast. I need to shut up.
I'm going to say that it's the first day that it's been warm here. So we're kind of basking in a bit of warmth.
Yeah, it's very
for
nice.
today, it's really nice. So we're
It's been very cold.
A little bit goofy in that respect.
I know the North Americaners, everybody up north is kind of
it's really hot.
Way too much heat.
Yeah, well, it flips as well. It's it's super hot up there and it's usually very cold down here, kind of flipping and stuff like that. But yeah, so Maurice Broaddus, very interesting poem. So yeah, definitely read all of our awesome stories and poems thus far. So let me go ahead here. So you said you also wanted to talk about
how we're
stuff.
Selecting stories starting with the September issue. So of course, everybody knows, and we don't have to look at that. That's just for my notes. But everybody knows that when we're selecting stories and stuff, that we would that there's a balance there. And a lot of times it is, we don't want too much darkness. We don't want too much lighthearted stories, and that's the balance of an issue. It has to cover all three speculative genres. It has to be some fantasy, some horror, and some more sci-fi. So, but in that as well, I tried an experiment with the September issue. I was going to say this current issue, but it's the one in September.
Yeah.
And that is where, I'm a fan of Lisa Cron and her books. If you ever want to read amazing, best craft books I've ever read, but she's actually talking about how the brain neurologically reacts to story.
Yeah.
Kind of like, the brain is an algorithm, and if you touch something hot, you will have this reaction usually. And if you don't, it means that something is maybe not working correctly. So, yeah. But our brains are like that as well with stories.
It's like an upgrade of introduction, middle, and end.
Yeah.
Or like body and end.
Yeah, yeah.
Except there's a lot more steps.
Yeah, and it's what makes a story that is like addictive. Like you cannot put the story down. The stories that resonate forever, that we all remember. Like Shirley Jackson's The Lottery, the one about the stones. Everybody knows that story, and everybody remembers all the details because it hit every neurological marker.
And you said that the writing for A Knight's Tale, the very, very popular movie with Heath Ledger, also had the exact same.
Yeah, when I was reading not Story or Die, her other book. Yeah, anyways, I don't remember the title of it off the top of my head, but yeah. And Ryan was watching The Knight's Tale. It's like I walked by and all of a sudden I was like, whoa, I've loved this story. I love the movie. But now I realize why. Because there's this internal conflict and an external conflict, and this happens and this happens and this happens, and that hit all my buttons.
Yeah, that's why I can't watch movies with you anymore, because you pick them apart.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But continue.
Yeah, this is true. But anyway, so with this issue, the September issue, not this issue, but the issue we're currently working on, which is September, which is, by the way, why we never know what day it is, because we're off in September land.
Yes.
But with this issue, I was like, what if are there neurological markers for, like, the markers are there, but what about for a table of contents? Like, could you pick the stories instead of just being like, well, you don't want too much sci-fi, you don't want too much horror, and balancing them that way. And I always like ending on a funny one because, leave people with a lighthearted.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what if instead we balance the issue with the neurological markers? So the stories
but for each specific story.
Yeah. So each story is basically, each story that's being put together is there not only based on its merit of it's a good story, and its merit on the science fiction or fantasy, the balance, that balance. But it's also there because it's fulfilling one of those neurological marker roles.
Yeah.
So like introduction, nurture, things like that. And I'm going to actually share more about that.
In the post?
At some point. Yeah. Maybe next week. I don't know. We'll share it somewhere, like more details of that.
Yeah.
But so that was the experiment, put it together, and I'm going to go, oh my God, this is such a kick-ass TLC.
Yep.
So I'm like, that's a keeper, I think.
Well, and the other reason that's so easy is because lately we've been getting such great stories.
Yes.
Like really awesome work to everybody that's been submitting, because we knock it down to probably about
25 this time.
Yeah, it was 25 this time, but it's honestly it's probably about 40. And then you've got the like kind of the cream of the crop at the top of that is like in 25, and then it's really hard to kind of compress it down, and this is just kind of making it easier for us to then like there's two things that's making it easier. Number one, we've got the theme, which makes it easier, because if somebody's not on theme and they have an amazing story, we're like, oh yeah, we push really it good, for a different theme, but like it's we can't accept it if it's not on theme. And then also this new style is making it easier, because there's nothing like having a bunch of 10 out of 10s and trying to pick which ones can go in the magazine. Like too much good is just as bad as too much bad. Like,
it's difficult.
Yes, it is difficult to pick a diamonds in a whole bunch of diamonds, or to pick nice looking rocks in a pile of shit. Like it's
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and
it's
it
very
did make it
difficult.
easier. It really is to help us choose easier because like there was two stories that were both excellent stories that were for one position, like the position of making you question the theme.
Yeah.
You know, the pivot, but for the whole TOC.
Mm.
And so that's a lot easier than going, okay, we've got 25 stories and we have 8 spots and each story has an equal chance at each spot.
Yeah.
So now we're going, okay, which stories specifically talk about nurturing?
Yeah.
Which stories specifically talk about whatever?
And
And
it is
then,
it is
yeah.
it is a balance. Like, and that's the
Oh,
thing,
yeah.
we try and balance out the issues already.
Mhm.
So then there's equal amount of fantasy, science
Yeah.
fiction, a horror, a little bit of
Yeah.
everything, as well as just the weird stories.
Yeah.
Like we like
Love
different.
weird stories.
We love like fringe science sort of
Yeah.
stories, the fringe of what hasn't been done before, or at least
Yeah.
nothing that we've read. But yeah, that's essentially what we're doing. So
Yeah.
yeah, some interesting things moving
Yeah.
forward.
Probably talk about it more next week with like
Yeah.
a little more detail, but I love this basically happened
Yeah.
last night, so it's kind of like
Yeah, on
yeah.
the forefront of minds.
Yeah.
But so what are you basing this on for anybody that's watching right
Oh,
now? It's-
Story or Die by Lisa Cron, which is an excellent book. And basically, the themes are to help us have transformation and realization as creatives. But putting the story or die framework on the TOC is bringing us. So if you read the issues now from front to back, you'll actually be going through a story of transformation
arc,
for
yeah.
yourself and a transformation arc
Yep.
for yourself. Now the reader is the protagonist.
Whereas usually you would just apply that to your story,
Mhm.
and it's a way of keeping the reader engaged
Yeah.
with different things. And you know how I always leave it on a cliffhanger. It's like, yeah, but you can also do that in other ways. You don't. It doesn't need to be a crazy cliffhanger every single time.
Yeah.
To engage the reader.
Yeah.
So yeah, really awesome book, Story or Die.
Yeah.
I'd highly recommend checking it out.
Yeah, Lisa Cron, both of her books, Story or Die is more for a nonfiction structural point of view. And then the other one that I loved from her is the one that I can't think of, but it's more for fiction, also incredibly excellent. Changed the way I thought about writing stories. It's much more organized, scientifically based, which I love. Way to look at storycraft.
Alrighty, so we're at the half-hour mark. Thank you for everybody popping in and watching today. Coffee Fueled Stories. We saw you pop up a little bit earlier, so thank you for joining us. We will see you next week where we talk about more of 132. Or are we on to 130?
Oh no, we're still on 152.
152. That.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that's why we never know what day it is because we're off in September.
Yeah, and I work in the past and the future with my other work as well. So
yeah.
Dates mean nothing.
It's just a human construct.
Yes, exactly. But we love your faces, and we will see you next week.
Yeah, bye guys.
Bye.
Thanks for reading Space and Time.